fish only 6 inches? Okay, coming up now on track 2 will be the Victorian Roller Derby Thunder up against the West Coast Evils. West Coast Evils coming across from Perth. My name is Judy Bench and I am the solo commentator for you today. I do have chat open, so if you are watching from home, feel free to drop some info through to me. And ask any questions that you might have. As we've got a little bit of time, I'm going to be running through the teams for you. So on the Thunder being in white today, we have 00 Quimby, 08 Pulp Friction, 106 Katie Chaos, 11 Maureen, 182 Mayhem, 24 T, 42 Mad Mags Fury Roll, 64 The Turbinator, 667 Snakebite, 78 Kaiju, 88 Rap, 89 Turbo Spicy, and 91 Mari Fury. And Scarebear, I totally agree. This is going to be a fantastic game. Watching last night, the West Coast Evils versus Sunstate, that was edge of your seat viewing, so this should live up to that kind of expectation as well. And then in the black, we have Perth Roller Derby West Coast Evils with 11 Wheels McCoy, 12 Shrek, 264 Locomotives, 313 Storm, 328 Peacock, 333 Holly Smackerel, 44 Wazer, 56 Bop, 585 Logi, 69 Comatose, 7 TO, 717 Flower, 86 is Nama Zoom, and 88 Lawson. On the bench for the Thunder is Kins, Lethal, Elkie, and Slender Jan. And on the bench for the Evils, we have Doherty, Bolt, Cooper, and I do believe we're going to possibly be seeing an appearance from Zach. So this game should be a very, very tight, fast, tactical kind of game. Lots of strategy going to be deployed by both teams. They are going to be kept safe and under control by the Ref Crew Charmander. And in Charmander, we have Honey Badger, John Ref Kennedy, Sparkling Brute, Corey, Frankenhurter, Kayla, Killer Tits, and Fouled Out as your skating officials. And as the non-skating officials, we have Muggles, Hawaii, Dinotello, TR2, Kershula, Ratty Roadkill, General Payne, Connie, Nerd, Mr. Tits, Ruby Soho, and Tink Belt Her. Now, because the game before was running late, they've actually just reset the time to Derby clock to 14.5 minutes. So I will mute up again for a little bit and I'll be back closer to the game time. I'll see you then. Okay, so we are getting close to getting underway, and they're not going to change the time to Derby clock on me again. So my name is Judy Bench. I am here for this game, the bronze final game, where it is the Perth Roller Derby West Coast Eagles in the black up against the BRDL Thunder in the white. I ran through the teams earlier. I'm going to run through them all again while I have a little bit of time. So for the Thunder in the white, we have 00 Quimby, 08 Hulk Friction, 106 KD Chaos, 11 Maureen, 182 Mayhem, 24 T, 42 Mags Fury Roll, 64 The Turbinator, 667 Snakebite, 78 Kaiju, 88 Wrath, 89 Turbo Spicy, 91 Mari Fury. On the bench we have Kins, Lethal, Alki and Slender Jam. And in the black for the West Coast Evils, we have 11 Wheels McCoy, 12 Shrek, 264 Locomotives, 313 Storm, 328 Peacock, 333 Ollie Smackerel, 44 Wazer. On the line currently we have Comatose up against the Turbinator. Comatose in the black, pushing out for a very quick lead there. Turbinator stuck at the back. We have Wrath and Mayhem trying to form a quick 2-all to slow down Comatose, and Comatose said, no, that is not required. Terminator has taken off there. Star. Lots of yelling happening. Going by Doherty on the sideline for the coach for the West Coast Eagles. We do have a power jam that is confirmed by the Turbinator coming into the penalty box. I will run through the rest of the West Coast Eagles and the skating officials and non-skating officials as soon as I can. But we have a lot of action already happening. Mayhem as last line of defense. Comatose pushing through. Very clear communication there from Doherty. Lovely bit of offense there from Tio in the black. Quimby being dragged back, also going into a little bit of offense, trying to help the Turbinator out, who is back on track. Forearms penalty on Tio. Comatose with another 4 points, going up onto the board. Toby dealing with a tripod of Eagles out the front, finally through on their initial pass. Doherty with the call of late. However, they waited too late, and Comatose has gone to the penalty box themselves. Let's just see if we managed to get any points there for VRDL. Turbinator did pick up, I believe that was 3 points in the last couple of seconds. So that is West Coast Eagles on 16, Thunder on 3. Hulk Friction is lining up as the solo jammer on the jam line. We probably have about 25-ish seconds to themselves out there. Getting through on a quick lead. Tio has come back on for the Eagles to make a full pack out there. Oh no, not a full pack. There is a blocker in the penalty box. I missed that early. We have Thorson holding up Hulk Friction on the last line of defense, along with Wheels McCoy. Wheels having to let go there. That was a very, very well done power kill. Only one scoring pass there for Hulk Friction. That is definitely a win for the Eagles on limiting the amount of points they picked up there. West Coast Eagles on 18, Thunder on 7. Kaiju now lining up against Namazoom. A little bit of track maintenance required there. Everyone getting back into position. Namazoon going to the out, coming to the in, getting held up there, I believe, by Maureen, but managing to get through. Kaiju working this way and that way. Maureen providing offense. Quimby getting set, ready for Namazoon hitting the pack. Kaiju out on their initial. Namazoon picking up some points, calling it off. Namazoon definitely living up to the Zoom part of their name. We now have Locomotives lining up in the black, Turbo Spicy in the white. We do have a little bit of whistle bleed, so there are a couple of times where whistles are happening and players are just double checking with the refs to make sure. Locomotives has picked up the lead. Turbo Spicy hitting the floor, getting back up, pushing their way into a very strong Eagles tripod. Managing to avoid the drawback there. Murray Fury with the brace position for the Thunder, managing to slow down Locomotives a bit. Spicy out on their initial. That was very much trying to make it as late as possible to kill some time on the penalty being served. Unfortunately, that call-off came a little bit too late, so that was a 4-2 jam there. Turbo Spicy managing to pick up 2 points right at the end. We now have Shrek up against the Turbinator. Toby with their quick stuttering feet on the jam line, never letting you know which way they're going to go. Being recycled back, but straight back into it. Lots of trying to get through that tripod. Bodies hitting the floor. Shrek up the front, being held there by Quimby. And that looks like Mayhem there as the pivot. Storm and Boop making it very difficult there as the two butts up against the Turbinator. Shrek getting out for lead. Maureen and Mayhem slowing down Shrek. Star Stash helping Toby get through on their initial. Toby managing to just give a little bit of a knock on their way through past Shrek. Toby doing a little bit of jammer on jammer, slowing down Shrek, helping Thunder avoid giving up any points there in while they were trying to burn some time. The Eagles trying to burn some time there because their pivot is currently in the penalty box, but has managed to at least be standing, so they have less than 10 seconds left to serve. We have Pulp Friction lining up against Comatose. A very small pack advantage to Thunder. Pulp just getting knocked out, not being able to hold the toe stops. A little bit of trackside reffing there by Doherty, pointing out that maybe a cut could have been issued when Pulp went on the outside. However, at this stage, everything has been deemed as legal. Comatose out for lead. Holt with the start in hand. Maureen trying to get themselves into position for the star pass. Managing to do a very nice, subtle pass. Doherty, however, has given the instructions to Comatose. Now we are running this. Being a pivot jammer. Let's see if we can rack up some points here. Maureen has managed to pick up 4. Comatose has picked up a couple of extra points there, but that was very much a case of risking it for the biscuit, managing to just stay in front on those passes there. An 8-4 jam. Turbo Spicy is currently lining up, and it looks like there was a late penalty issue to Comatose, so Comatose is starting in the penalty box. Turbo Spicy out there by themselves, probably for the full 30 seconds, as long as they skate clean. Ooh, a rather wild-looking hit there by Logie to knock Turbo Spicy to the inside. Turbo Spicy picking up lead. Comatose is currently standing in the penalty box, so they have just been released. Thunder were well aware of the jammer re-entering, so they were ready and set up to go. Katie Chaos unfortunately picking up a multiplayer penalty for that one. Comatose on their initial picking up 4 points there, as Turbo Spicy did not hear the directions from the bench coach there. Unfortunately missed time. That only picked up 3 points, and Evils picked up all 4. We now have Locomotives up against the Turbinator. Toby starting, they're rocking on their toe stops. Locomotives only have 2 blockers to go up against, so made a bit of short work there. The Turbinator unfortunately got picked up for a cut penalty. So not only is pack advantage with the Evils, they are also the solo jammer out there. Thunder blockers have returned to track. Locomotives making very nice work on the inside line there, barely touched. Toby has just been released from the penalty box, but is still on initial. So Loco having a little bit of time there to try and pick up as many points as possible, picking up 3 before calling it off. That was an 11-point jam. Definitely made use of the power jam situation there. Scores are currently 16 points to the Thunder. As I said, Thunder is playing in white. West Coast Eagles are in black, and they are on a 53. Namazoon is now lining up against Kaiju. Logie trying to lead Kaiju to the outside. Kaiju managing to reset, get themselves back into the middle. Quindy trying to help out there with a little bit of O. Namazu making use of the chaos to reset themselves and get a little bit of momentum going. Trying to push the lock down the tripod that Thunder had set up. Ari Fury there as the last blocker to be reckoned with. Namazoon basically out doing a little bit of a spin to get past them. Cassie, I'll come back to your comment in relation to Jambi in a moment. I have seen it. I'll come back and answer that for you soon. Namazoon picking up 4 points there. Kai is still stuck in the pack. Star Stash getting through on their initial, being called off before they could re-enter the pack. That was another 3 points picked up there by Namazoon. Score's now 16-60 in favour of the West Coast Eagles. So, Cassie, Jambi is playing with a BCR at this tournament. They moved back to Queensland a little while ago, and instead of going to Sun State where they started, they moved across to BCR. And will go into VRDL All-Stars when they are able to for tournaments and some training. They are a dual member with both leagues. That was a quick lead from Shrek. Pulp Friction being held at the back but managing to make their way through on their initial. Points there to Shrek, keeping the score ticking along. So Thunder does have a couple of all-star players in it, more sort of like the ones that are moving on up into the all-stars, allowing them to get a bit more tournament gameplay. And some of their newer to Treble Team players as well. So they are a very good mix of skills and development. It does mean sometimes you'll see people like Shreds playing with them, or like this tournament having Pulp Friction out there as well. But it's also players like Turbo Spicy getting a run, managing to have a little bit of tournament experience, getting them ready as they move on up and progress. As for the comments here going Shrekking good, they have been such a solid jammer so far. They have worked their booty off. It has been incredible to watch. I actually have not seen Shrek play before, so this has been fantastic. Dino with a bit of flair there, as you pointed out. We now have Turbo Spicy up against Comatose. A very slight pack advantage going out to the Evils. Comatose with the lead. Thunder now down to 2 blockers out there. Turbo Spicy, unfortunately, cut penalty being assigned to them. So Comatose has 2 blockers and is unopposed in terms of, at the moment, only having themselves to worry about in relation to jams. A couple of stumbles. Calling it off, icing Turbo Spicy into the penalty box there. There were a few penalties being issued right towards the end, so just checking to see what's happened. I believe it was a low block assigned to, I can't quite see the number, it might be Wills McCoy. Locomotives getting through for lead. Thunder getting all of their blockers out now. And Turbo Spicy about to re-enter. Teo and Logi being very, very strong butts there. Pack has stretched right out at the front, making Locomotives really push to get the 4 points. However, their second pass, much more open for them to get through, just as Turbo Spicy got out on their initial. So I believe that should have been an 8-point pass. I'm not quite sure. I think it was, oh no, it was the initial first, so 4-point pass there. Initial was difficult, 4 points picked up on their scoring pass. Pulp Friction up against Shrek. We do have an empty Spank Alley penalty box. Spank Alley sponsoring the penalty box on both tracks. Logi getting called for a penalty there. I don't think they necessarily agreed with that, but they have sat down. Pulp Friction and Maureen doing the drawback there. Another penalty assessed to another Evils blocker. However, the Pulp Friction still being held up at the back. Little bit of timing issue there. Corey wasn't certain whether the lead was still open, so they were playing it safe until they got told by John F. Kennedy, no, Pulp Friction was lead. Shrek fighting and giving it their all to get through the pack there. Unfortunately, took a bit of a tumble, allowing the Thunder Skaters to reform. Pulp Friction taking a big hit. And we will just put up some information here. Let's have a look. So we've got a couple of the penalties being displayed. No one currently in much trouble from VRDL Thunder. With 2 penalties for a couple of skaters, so nothing too dramatic. And if we look at West Coast Evils, again, at most 2 penalties, so everyone doing pretty well. Not too penalty heavy at this stage, just a spread of penalties across multiple people. Pulp Friction has gotten themselves up and has skated to get first aid under their own steam, so all good there. We will be fine to restart as soon as the refs are happy and the medics are available and watching. We do really, really appreciate all the work that our first aiders do. They have been providing excellent assistance to our skaters, getting quick eyes on incidences, and you know, roller derby being a full contact sport, we all know the risks, so having the first aiders there being responsive is very, very helpful. We are now back on with Namazoom for the Evils, and they are currently chasing down Toby, who is currently lead. Kings is giving the direction of a train, a train, a train. In this instance, has not quite worked out for the Thunder. Namazoom is now on a power jam. Unfortunately, during that beam dip on the outside there, Maureen was already pretty close to in position, so was able to slow them down, knock them out, and run them back. Once again, Maureen with the run back there. Wheels McCoy picking up a penalty there while trying to provide offense for Namazoom. Namazoom hitting the ground, standing back up, straight in their way is Quimby. So going by the comments, I'm assuming Lodgy is sometimes a penalty heavy player. So yeah, being one penalty so far, not too bad if they are a penalty heavy player. Toby picking up 4 points there as they have returned to track after serving their penalty. Quimby, Maureen and Mohiri really making it a bit of a nightmare there for Namazoom. Namazoom playing it safe as there was only a couple of seconds left, so they realised that. Toby managing to pick up some points right on the end of the jam time. So that ended up being an 8-8 jam. Thunder on 36. West Coast Eagles starting to gain a bit of momentum, a bit of a lead here with 88. Kaiju now on up against Locomotives. Kai being pushed to the out by Lodgy. Loco picking up lead in return. Kai being drawn back by Clawson. Ball off there after 4 points picked up. No initial to Kaiju. Corey with the sad giraffe hand. Shrek up against Turbo Spicy. Nice strong hits there from Holly Snapperell. Shrek getting lead. Teo with a big hit. We're just going to change angle here as first aid comes out. So while this is all happening, I'm going to run through a couple of our sponsors. So we do have our Jammer Line and Pivot Line sponsored. So Roller Derby Heaven is sponsoring our Jammer Line. However, when people are lining up at the Jammer Line and you are a solo commentator, it is very much a difficult thing to say all of those words. But we do appreciate the support that Roller Derby Heaven has been giving to this tournament. They are proud supporters of Aussie Roller Derby for 15 years. Family fun, derby obsessed, skater approved. Our team lives and breathes derby, giving you expert advice, the best gear and a friendly face every time. Skates, protective gear and derby must-haves all in one place. And our Pivot Line sponsor, again, being a bit of a tongue-tie for you when you're solo commentating, is Queensland Roller Derby Leagues. The claps there show that Turbo Spicy is okay and returning to the bench where they will have to sit 3. But Queensland Roller Derby Leagues, or Quirtle, has the mission to support, develop and promote active participation in roller derby across Queensland. The committee is made up of representatives from roller derby leagues across Queensland who work together to coordinate roller derby events such as the annual tournament Tropicarnage. We are back underway. Pulp Friction up against Comatose. A little bit of a shove on one of the Thunder blockers, distracting everyone else while Comatose goes and picks up lead. Wills McCoy with the drawback on Pulp Friction. Comatose picking up 4 points. Outside line left open for Pulp to go through. Toast with the call-off there. That was an 8-0 jam. Eagles managing to continue to stretch out this lead. So it is 36-102. And I have just remembered that I haven't run through all the rest of the Eagles players. I will get to that shortly. We have under 5 minutes left of this half. Kaiju up against Namazoom. That appears like, who is that? I moved my sheet of players, so bear with me. Although most of the people in comments will be able to correct me quicker than I can find them. I think it was Boot that I was talking about just before, making life very difficult with the Kaiju. Mayhem trying hard to slow down Namazoom at the front here. And Kaiju feeling themselves stuck in the sad place. Star in hand as Doherty starts yelling out, treats, treats, treats. Kaiju getting out on their initial. Another couple of points picked up there. That was a 7-0 jam. So quickly run through the rest of the West Coast Eagles. I believe we got to 328 Peacock, 333 Holly Smackerel, 44 Wazer, 56 Boot, 585 Logi, 69 Comatose, 7 Tio, 717 Flower, 86 Namazoom, 88 Thorson with Doherty, Bolt, Cooper, and visiting Statsman, Zach. Locomotives picking up lead. Pulp Friction very fast coming in behind. Call off by Locomotives. Managing to avoid Pulp hitting the pack while picking up 2 points themselves. So yes, Doherty apparently asked Zach if he would like to be Statsman. Zach from a Sun State. I think. No, it was Sun State, now BCR. I can never keep up. Whichever team. BCR. Yeah, that makes more sense. I don't know. I have no one here I can fact check off. Shrek up against Toby. This has been a very interesting matchup. As I said, I hadn't seen Shrek until now, and very impressed. Once again, picking up lead. Toby trying for a sneaky star pass. However, I believe that's Thorson straight on it, getting in the way of Maureen to separate Toby and Maureen from each other. And managing to cause a penalty against Toby, allowing Shrek to be on the power jam again. Doherty telling Shrek to pull it off so then they can maximise as much time as possible. And it looks like we do have an official review, so I'm going to go in and have a listen, and I will be back when we know what's going on. Okay, so that was both a strategic official review, being that there is less than a minute left on the clock. However, they were also looking at trying to get an additional penalty assigned to Toby as the jammer. They believed that there had been a forearm penalty that should have been assessed at the top before the high block was assessed, as there appeared to be a little bit of wrapping and grabbing of the top and rotation of the black blocker 4-4. So of Wazer in that moment. The assessment was, unfortunately, there was no impact. I say unfortunately in terms of the Doherty, no impact assessed from the action, as there was no grabbing of the top. We are just changing angle again as first aid is coming out. We are about to go into intermission. So a little bit of signals happening back and forth between skating officials and everything. We have not had the rolling whistle, I believe. So just waiting to see what is happening in regards to the scoreboard clock and everything. Our non-skating official Muggles reminding Dino that we had not had the rolling whistle, so no skaters could move until that had happened. We are now currently in intermission. We have about 14 minutes of intermission left. Maureen being checked out by first aid, so hopefully all will be good. And I will come back with a couple of minutes left of the intermission to run through our skating officials and non-skating officials, and we can have a bit of a chat of what's been going on. I'll talk to you soon.
know it was here? Well, when I came up for juniors with beer, I emailed the venue straight away and said, have you got internet I can plug into? And they go, oh, we're moving to EE, but we're going to have this old NBN connection. You can use that if that's right. I'm like, that's fine. And it's gigabit, so it's even better.
Okay, we have about 3 minutes left of half-time. Just as an update, Maureen has been checked out. Is okay. Just a bit of a bad fall and a bit of a tender ankle, so all good. So lots happening in that half. We saw some incredible tripods from both teams, but the Eagles tripods who have been a bit more successful in regards to slowing down and holding the jammers. Lots of hard work being done by everyone out there. And as I said, with having the more successful blocking, in turn also having the more successful jamming ability there. So exactly, I agree. Some extreme defense and some very, very tactical O that really opened up the lines there just to help out. In some ways not needed, but always nice to have kind of thing. So I will go through our officials crew again once I can find their list. We have Crew Charmander. So on skates, we have Honey Badger, John F. Kennedy, Sparkling Brute, Corey, Frankenherder, Kayla, Killer Tits, and Found Out. And as our non-skating officials, doing all the dotting of T's, crossing of I's, we have Muggles, Hawaii, Dinatello, Kershula, Ruddy Roadkill, General Payne, Connie, Nerd, Mr. Tits, Ruby Soho, and Team Belter. We've got the teams heading back out onto track. We still have about a minute to go. So it is looking like we're going to have Locomotives and Pulp Friction as our first two jammers. For the second half, we still have a little bit of time, so everyone is very, very eager to get underway, it looks like. The officials are all in position pretty much. The teams are all in position, but the clock still says 30 seconds. So I think Honey Badger is giving the go-ahead that we are going to get things underway shortly. It does look like we are going to be starting with everyone out on track, which is fantastic. Loco with the lead. Lots of hard hits. And Logie managing to cause a cut on Friction. I don't think Pulp realised the hit had forced them out, so when they re-entered, they did so illegally. Loco with 4 points so far for this jam. Pulp now standing in the penalty box. The pack has started to spread out a little bit, not bothering Loco, managing to carve their way through pretty easily. Pulp going for a little bit of jammer on jammer action, unfortunately went out as well, which meant that the Eagles were able to draw Pulp back. but Pulp being Pulp, very quick on their feet, managing to push all the way to the front very quickly. However, now they are being held up by a Trop Cup. Now the 2-wall. But being recycled to the back there. Loco having just Marahiri to beat. And is out on another scoring pass. So far, 12 points for this jam. Took a little bit of a hard hit there, taking a moment just to double check that everything is okay before calling that off. Just double checking a few things on themselves to make sure that they're all fine. Heading back to the bench. Looks all good. Ken's running in to have a little bit of a chat to people in there. That was a 13-point jam in the end. So Eagles are now almost 100 points in front, currently 36 to 131. Comatose up against Turbo Spicy. Turbo Spicy working the out to the in and back again. Comatose just pushing as far as they can out the front before breaking through for lead. Picking up 4 points there. That felt almost unopposed. The treat is the call from the bench. Turbo managing to get out though. Another 4 points picked up there. So we're now at 103 points as the lead there. Thunder remaining on 36. Eagles now 139. Shrek, and for their first jam of today, Mad Mags, Fury Roll, lining up. Mags with a bit of to and fro behind the jam line before picking their line to go through. Very good awareness there of where their feet were, so managing to remain inbounds. Shrek has pushed their way to the front. It's forcing their way past Mayhem. Mags with a very quick star stash and looking for Mayhem, being hit to the inside and having to reset. And in the meantime, Shrek has come in for their first scoring pass. Mags still fighting their way through the blockers. The blockers are keeping Mags and Mayhem separated. Another scoring pass there before calling it off. At the moment, they are looking like they're quite happy just with the 12 points, even if initial has not occurred. Allowing them to remain clean, keeping the penalty box as empty as possible, while still extending the lead that they have. So very, very smart. We now have Namazoon up against Kaiju. Zoom trying to find the line on the inside, has gone to the outside, has hit the ground. Everything is going on for Namazoon. Kaiju also battling their way through and trying to reckon with the blockers for the Evils. Evil blockers are managing to have a little bit more success in slowing things down and causing a penalty. So Kaiju is currently in the penalty box. Lead being assigned to Namazoon. bit of a bean dip on the outside, not overly successful in terms of getting through the whole pack, but they have managed to remain safe and be aware of everything. Long drawback happening there. Kaiju has been released from the penalty box. And is now out on their initial pass. Namazoom calling it off. There is definitely power in those walls. Thunder is having a bit more success locking them down after the initial has happened, but the Eagles are not allowing initial passes to happen for the Thunder Jammers. They are just in complete lockdown straight from the word go. Friction out again. Up against Comatose. Toast has worked their way to the front. One to beat, and is out for lead. A Friction at the back of the pack still, getting some offense to get them through. Doherty with the call of points, doing everything they can to protect that lead. They're doing all they can to ensure that their rankings are going to look very nice by the end of this tournament. Locomotives lining up now against Turbo Spicy. Good to see Turbo Spicy back out there after their fall earlier. Loco out for lead. And barely touched on the outside going through. Turbo is still stuck in that tripod of doom, that sad place that a lot of the VRDL jammers are finding themselves in. And then a little bit of friendly fire there, also taking down Turbo Spicy as one of the blockers had fallen over right in front of them. Again, barely touched, picking up that 12 points and then calling it off. That is very nice, very clean, and very, very quick. So we're seeing the Turbinator heading on out up against Shrek. When we do have a timeout or a bit of a longer pause, we can go through some penalties. But at the moment, Shrek is basically shrugging off a hit from Quimby, but Quimby managing to remain in and causing that cut on Shrek, allowing Toby to pick up lead. So less than a minute 30 on this jam clock. It's going to be interesting to see the tactics being used by VRDL as Shrek is already standing. Shrek has been released. A little bit of whistle bleed coming through, but everyone is still in play. We have had a couple of times today where the whistle bleed has caused people to stop and think that it's their track, but everyone is being aware of what is going on. Dawson is really taking any of the speed out of Toby, so managing to delay the amount of passes that Toby has managed to get. Shrek has been successful on getting through for their initial. All of the VRDL blockers are trying to remain in front of Shrek, but Shrek was putting on speed, so it's going to be interesting. Was there any points there sniped by Shrek? And no, we have double donuts. With the long angle on the camera, I'm not sure if it would have been highly visible in regards to what happened. It did, from my position, look like there might have been, but again, I'm not in the best position to have seen it fully myself. But yes, I can understand. And as Cassie said, yeah, we'll see what it was. But from here, maybe, but I can't confirm or deny, basically. Kaiju with starring hand as Namazoon is zooming around the track, picking up points as the lead jammer. Wazer and Boop are just being monsters of the butts at the back of that tripod. If we can get the penalties up. VRDL with Toby on 4 penalties and Katie Chaos on 3 are the only two that are in a bit of trouble there. And then for Evils, it is... Sorry, I'm on a bad angle trying to look at this. 1 on 4 and a couple on 3, so unfortunately couldn't see who they were. I'm looking at a very tiny screen, so I can just basically see the count. But you all at home should have been able to see that. Thorson heading into the penalty box. Rack has been released from the penalty box. And Comatose has picked up lead. Pulp Friction managing to get out now on their initial. Comatose has already had 1 scoring pass. So this is just a little bit of gravy on top of their 4 points to begin with, and they picked up 3 on that second pass before falling it off. Turbo Spicy out against Locomotives. We have Thorson as the pivot in the penalty box for the Evils, and that is the only blocker in there. Turbo Spicy picking up lead. They're about half a track in front of Loco. Hitting the pack pretty quickly, running on their toe stops. Did they call it off in time to avoid any points being picked up? No points there for the Evils. And 2 points for Turbo Spicy. So 42 to 190. Kaiju now out against Namazoon. Namazoon with a little bit of a run-up start. Going to the outside. Kaiju picking up lead, but Namazoon is right on them. Kaiju with the wings to balance and try and stop Namazoon. Thunder falling behind in regards to the race of blockers to get to the front, which means that we have had Namazoon picking up points despite not being lead, and Thunder being pointless in that jam. $150 points now separate them. Pulp Friction heading out against Shrimp. However, a last second switcheroo there means that it's now Comatose. I believe it is now a power jam for Comatose. A forearms penalty being assessed to Pulp Friction. Pack has sped up, trying to delay Comatose from picking up points. However, that has kind of not worked in their favour very well, as a few people took a stumble and Toast just went, oh, this space for me, thank you. Friction is now returning to track. Wheels and Storm were half set up, but Pulp Friction just weaved straight on through. We do have a blocker apiece in the penalty box. Friction putting on a little bit of speed to try and hit the pack as quickly as possible, as the call-off was being happening. Kins has walked into the middle, is talking to the jam timer, so I'm feeling like there might be a bit of a last second call here for a timeout. At the end of that jam, before the timeout was called, we were 42 to 200. We still have 12 and a half minutes remaining, and we'll run through those penalties again. I'm just pulling my screen up a little bit closer so I can actually see the penalties. The track behind us has now finished. Just waiting for a sec. My screen's a little bit delayed at the moment. So we have Katie Chaos on 3, Toby on 4, a couple of high blocks, a couple of cut tracks. Everyone else is skating fairly clean there, and for her, we have, as this flips on over, as I said, my screen's a little bit delayed because I am actually on my phone trying to read chat and everything, so it is not the stream coverage, it is my coverage. My mixer operator is sitting here going, oh God, what's going on? It is not their fault. So we have 4 penalties, 2 Storm, 3 to Thorson, 3 to Wheels McCoy, and 2 Peacock. Everyone else is looking pretty good. And Logie is only on 2 penalties at this stage. So again, doing pretty well there. We have a Toby out there up against Shrek. This has been such a fascinating matchup between the 2 jammers. 2 very, very different styles, but able to also complement each other. But Shrek has had the better success rate out of the 2, and continuing that now. Toby with a slip pass off there to Mayhem, whereas Shrek's just like, you know what, I'm going to scooch on by and call this off. Picking up 4 points there. Fifth blocker is very underrated, but quite often highly successful if done well, and Shrek is definitely a successful fifth blocker. We have a very, very late official timeout call there. Honey Badger just telling the players to chill and giving the bench a chance to reshuffle a few things around. So there has been a chat to both. I believe it's because the medics have their eyes off the game at the moment, so this will get underway as soon as we do have first eye looking at the game. So they've just been poked by a honey badger to get eyes back on. So we can start again. Exactly. The honey badger is here for safety. He don't give no. So as I was saying, it is Locomotives up against Kaiju. Mayhem was thankful for that bit of delay because they were able to get a drink, as they've been running a few double duty jams. Loco picking up lead there. Kaiju with star in hand. Loco picking up 4 points. Thorson is keeping Mayhem away from Kai. T going to the penalty box for Thunder. Not running the 12-point jam this time, only going for 7 points. But still keeping it nice and clean and giving them a slight blocker advantage going into the next jam. We have Comatose going out and Pulp Friction going for a bit of a run-up. Pulp had decided to come the long way around the track. Quimby on the ground. Wheels McCoy going over the top of Quimby. Comatose is like, yep, you deal with your dramas. I'm just going to pick up lead. Pulp still in the pack. This is definitely showing why Doherty gets called in for being bench coach for teams like Team Australia and the VRDL All-Stars when they're over at Champs. Definitely a well-respected and very tactical bench coach with a very loud voice. Exactly what you require. He's going for the long shot at the moment while people are being checked out by the first aid. However, Quimby's just shrugged them off and said, no, I'm fine, I'm just going to sit. So all good there. She could rival Sid for loudest benchy. However, Sid does have the flamboyance element of that curled mustache. I feel like that adds extra bonus points. However, Doherty does have the red hair, so I feel there are pros and cons for both. But on pure volume, I'm not sure who I'd give that to. I was commentating for Sid yesterday, and I will be again after this game. So I can try and understand which one it would be in comparison, having freshly seen Doherty and then seeing Sid. We shall see. Exactly, majestic mustache versus red hair. Who do you give it to? We are just waiting for first aid to get back into position again. We have under 9 minutes remaining. At this stage, it is looking like this will be an Evils game. What's going to be interesting is how does VRDL Thunder manage to claw this lead in a little bit, rein it in, bring it back a little bit. I will say Thunder did come in very short in regards to their rotation. So this has been definitely a hard, tiring tournament for Thunder. But I also know that there has been a few tournaments recently for the WA team. So again, it can be tiring pulling up doing 2 tournaments in a row. Namazoom definitely not showing any tiredness whatsoever, already having 8 points on the board. Turbo Spicy, a star on the ground, managing to pick it up. $12 points on the board already for Namazoom. Treats has been called. Turbo out on initial. Mayhem directing everyone up the front, but Namazoom pulling it off, having picked up all 4 points on that pass. So that was a 16-point pass, taking the scores to 42 to 231. All that extending of the lead happening. All blockers out on track once more. Kaiju up against Loco. Kaiju running down the inside, illegally getting a cut penalty. That one was definitely visible from my position, so good call on that, refs. So treats seems to be along the lines of, it's okay, we've picked up all our points, we don't need to do anything dangerous, we can call it off shortly. Good to know it was the Bees that were at the West Coast Invitational. I wasn't quite sure. I knew that a lot of the WA, well, by a lot I mean Ward and Perth, were amongst those teams that were playing there. I just wasn't sure which level it was. Thank you for letting me know. Kaiju still has star in hand now that they are back on track. Loco picking up another 4 points. That's 12 points so far for this jam. Looks like they are running this one. Doherty with the call of 20 seconds over to let Loco know. However, Loco ended up with a back block. So we'll be starting the next jam in the penalty box. However, they will have wiped off at least 5 seconds of that jam. So it won't be for the full 30 seconds. Scrappy Doo Ward will be playing in the next game on track 1 up against the Inner West Skate Crashers. They will be playing for first and second in the Div 2 section. Doherty with time out. We have just under 5 minutes left. I do believe we have one player on 5 penalties for VRDL. That looks to be T. T is going to tell me off for pointing that out on the live stream. They requested that we didn't call that out. However, sorry T, you give me a topic to talk about. And definitely a lot less danger here with only one blocker for Perth. You will be hearing me on that stream. Once this game is finished, I will be running across to join Bob to commentate that game. Thankfully, time to derby on that track is 20 minutes, so I'll probably have time to scoff a little bit of food and run across. So with 201-point lead, we have a power jam start for Pulp Friction, who has started motoring around the outside, not gaining speed, maintaining their speed, so they were all legal. Pulp Friction picking up lead. However, because of the way the pack had moved, they did not have much time to do too many scoring passes before Loco got released from the penalty box. Forearms penalty being picked up by Wills, meaning the Pulp only had one who had to let them go. Well, before out of play was called. Loco getting out for their initial. VRDL getting Pulp to call it off, and an official review has been called. So I will go in and have a listen, and I'll get back to you with the goss. Dawson being given a forearms penalty. Tia's the last blocker for VRDL. Quimby trying to push Mayhem into position to extend the bridge. The yell of stop, stop, stop coming from Doherty. Comatose going, no, you're kidding. I am going to try and get as many points as I can with this last little second. That was, it looks like a 19-point jam there for Comatose. As you've said in the chat, Toasty doing laps, definitely. Timeout has been called. We will be going in for our final jam here. It looks like Locomotives has been chosen for this jam from the Eagles bench. VRDL doing a few pump-up chants, making some noise over there. Namazoom going, I'm not going to be defeated, I'm louder than all of you, and yelling back across from the Eagles bench. Pulp Friction is starting from turn 3 in their movement to come in for this jam. 3 blockers on track for the Eagles. Both jammers being drawn back a bit. Booth with the phenomenal knockout. However, Friction with the energy to get through after being recycled. Loco out on their initial as well. Lethal has yelled train to Pulp Friction. Pulp Friction picking up points, hitting the pack once more, not touched, running on through, picking up some more points, doing what they can to bring this deficit as close as possible in this final jam. It is all on the jam clock now. Period clock has finished. Penalty being assessed to Holy Mackerel. Pulp Friction picking up another 4 points. They are now on 12 points for this jam. The fun don't stop until the whistle blows, and Pulp is trying their hardest to keep it running. No pass, no penalty assigned to that pass there. Did not need to return to the back. Loco finding it very difficult against Katie Chaos and T, with Quimby and Mayhem helping out there for VRDL. However, Thorson has returned to slow things down for Pulp Friction. We've got Holly Mackerel, we've got Peacock, Thorson, and I cannot see that last blocker out there. That was a 15-point jam from the looks of things, which means, 18-point jam there. I was going to say that was going to end them on 69 points. Nice. But no, they are on 72, almost a 200-point win to the West Coast Eagles, 270 to 72. That had everything in that last jam. Thank you so much for keeping me company while we have been running through this game. It was tight, it was tactical, it was hard hitting. That was absolutely phenomenal to watch. Thank you so much. I now need to duck over to track 1 for the skate crashes versus wards of the skate. I have been a Judy bench, and with that game, that has left Perth Roller Derby West Coast Eagles as the bronze finalist, and VRDL Thunder in 4th place for Tropicarnage. Thank you so much, and talk to you later. Bye.